thought we played okay yesterday, and initially I thought David Moyes got the tactics pretty much spot on. I was really pleased with what I seen for large parts of the game, the way we were going about it, how we were trying to attack and break Aston Villa down. I was quite happy with it actually. I could see a bit of a game plan. I thought it was quite effective. And during the game, I thought we were on top for spells, and I thought Aston Villa were on top for spells. And I was quite optimistic that we could go on and win the game, up until the 77th minute. In the 77th minute, my optimism stopped just like that because of what occurred, and we'll get on to that. But until that point, I was quite hopeful that we could get all 3 points yesterday. Were we fantastic? No. Were we really, really good? No, we were not. I thought we were okay. Aston Villa, though, are possibly the only team at the minute where you look at the league that could be sort of labelled up as on the beach. They're not in a relegation battle. The team directly below them, Crystal Palace and below, they're in a relegation battle. The team above them, Chelsea, well, they've got the Champions League. They've got something to play for this season. Then above them, you've got Brentford, who can still finish 6th or 7th in the Premier League. So they're in a European contention at the minute. So at the minute, out of the 20 teams in the Premier League, only really Aston Villa don't have anything to play for. And I thought I could detect a little bit of that yesterday. I wasn't really impressed by them. I was expecting them to be better. They were missing their best player in Kamara. The knock-on effect was John McGinn came from the right-hand side into centre midfield for the start of the game, and I think that impacted the way Villa have played when I have seen them play in the last few weeks. McGinn out on the right is pivotal, and I think Kamara is definitely pivotal to the way Villa play. So they were possibly a good opposition for us yesterday. And I actually thought we were all right in the first half until Aston Villa scored. I barely remember Villa getting out the half. Now, did that mean we created loads or anything? Not really. We created one decent chance, and that was Benrahma's volley that he put over the bar. Villa had one attack, one goal. Watching it back, you look at Jared Bowen, he's a little bit ball watching, doesn't really pay attention to what Moreno's doing. This then causes confusion for Tilo Kehrer, who's caught in halfway land, isn't he? Does he go to Moreno? Does he keep an eye on Ramsey? His position is not great whatsoever. Doesn't really go close him down. The ball comes in. Aguerd should be doing a hell of a lot better. He just loses Ollie Watkins completely. They start off at the edge of the D where there's a little bit of a tussle between them. They break off, and Aguerd just doesn't know where he is. And it's not really good enough from Aguerd. I've come to expect better from him. So from the goal we conceded, it starts a little bit with Jared Bowen, then Tilo Kehrer is culpable, and then certainly Nath Aguerd is as well. But the reaction, it wasn't the best, but we got a penalty, a bit of a soft penalty, I have to say. I think it's one of them, if the referee doesn't give it, the VAR wouldn't interfere and say, no, you're right, carry on, a bit like the Declan Rice and Buendia thing. But since Howard Webb's gone in there, he's trying to get the VAR to side with the referee more often than not now. Don't interfere less, I think, is the sort of message coming to the referee. So that's why it stood. And a fantastic penalty by, say, Benrahma smashing it down the middle like that. But all in all, in the first 45, I thought we played okay, but the better chances probably fell for Aston Villa, with Ollie Watkins missing from a handful of yards out. Decent save from Areola. A couple of last-ditch tackles from Zuma and Emerson as well in the first half. But we were playing okay. However, I thought the tactics that we were deploying, I thought was right. I thought they were pretty effective, actually. There was a big frustration in the ground when Emi Martinez was standing still with a ball. Let's call it what it was. He was time wasting to some extent. I think there was a tactic side to that. Was he time wasting? Yes, because there was goal kicks and stuff. He was taking ages to do them. That's not waiting for to be pressed. You can't. The ball's not in play. But certainly when the ball was in play, he was standing there just watching Danny Ings saying, well, you come to me, then I'll pass. And there was a big frustration about that. And I understand why, by the way, because when we're there, we want to see football. We want to see high-energy performances from our players. And when you're watching Martinez stand with the ball for 20 seconds and all the West Ham players are stood there in position, not moving, it can get a bit frustration. But I actually think we did the right thing. I thought I was quite disciplined. Literally a week ago against Brighton, I felt our pressing game was disjointed, to call it that. Maybe Souček would go press, but the rest of them would stand still. And Brighton were just passing through us. By the end of the game, they were just cutting through the middle of the pitch. We were really, really poor. Brighton's centre-backs were controlling the game in the first half. The second half, the midfielders started doing it because we switched formation. It became a bit easier. And I actually thought watching us against Aston Villa in the first half, that when Mings would have the ball, saying he was quite patient with it, saying, well, come on, Danny, come to me. And Ings was standing there saying, I'm not doing it. I'm just going to stand next to Konsa and you can have the ball. Go long to Ollie Watkins because Gerd and Zuma will beat him in the air every single day of the week. Apart from crosses from Alex Moreno, of course. But generally, I thought the tactics were right. I thought we'd learnt our lesson from Brighton. We were a little bit more disciplined, a lot more composed, saying, no, we're not falling for this. I thought the tactics that we had in terms of getting our wingers into the game, in Jared Bowen side Benrahma, I thought was brilliant. I thought it was working really, really well. The distribution from Zuma and Agerd is probably the biggest positive I'll take from yesterday. Obviously, the fact that we did not lose is one of them as well. But things that you want to see going forward, the distribution from Agerd and Zuma, I thought was excellent. Time and time again, 40, 50 yard diagonal balls, Zoom out to Benrahma, Agerd out to Jared Bowen. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Did it work every occasion? No, it did not. A couple of times it cut out. And there was just sometimes a bit of but actually I quite liked it. I was like, more of that, please. Keep doing it. Keep trying it. Because every time Bowen and Benrahma were picking up, they were running at Cash and Moreno. They were pinning them back. They were beating their men. I was really, really pleased to see that distribution from our centre-backs yesterday. I really, really enjoyed it. It continued in the second half as well. It was clearly something that we'd been working on, something that we wanted to do, because both centre-backs were at it. And it's not something... Agerd's always had that. Day one at West Ham, we've seen that distribution from him. It's not something that I've always attributed to Kurt Zouma, though, having that accurate long ball to the feet of a winger on the opposite side of the pitch. I've never really considered Zouma as a ball-playing centre-back, if you like, but I thought he was brilliant all round yesterday, Zouma, but I thought his distribution was really, really good, and it was working. But in the 77th minute, I'll be honest with you, my enthusiasm just went like that. I up until then, Aston Villa, we were on top for large parts in the second half. Early on in the second half, I thought we were the better team. Benrahma had a shot saved by Martinez from close range. Probably should have done better on the volley. He had another one where he knocked down. It got deflected out for a corner. Then he had that ball from Zuma. Took it down, tipped over by Martinez. Wasn't really troubling him. It's an easy save for Martinez. But there was encouraging signs. I thought we were on top. I thought that we had them pinned back a little bit. I thought whenever Villa cleared it, I thought Gerd and Zuma were mopping things up quite easy. I was pleased with what I was seeing. But then the tempo just started to dwindle a little bit. It started to get a little bit stale for us. It was almost like we'd ran out of ideas, essentially. Our game plan wasn't really working. Villa started sussing us out a little bit. I thought Emery did some fantastic substitutions. I thought he did 2 subs that were absolutely fantastic. Moreno coming off and Dean coming on. I just thought it pinned Jared Bowen back a little bit. I don't think Bowen was at his best defensively yesterday. I have to say that. I thought Kerr could have possibly needed a bit... Well, he did need a bit more protection. So defensively, Bowen wasn't at his sharpest. But I thought going forward, I thought he was fantastic. Lacking the final ball at times, lacking options. But he was beating his man on countless occasions. He doesn't mind cutting inside or going on the outside. You get some wingers that are insistent, like Anthony at Man United, insistent that he's going to cut on his left foot. He doesn't like going down the outside. So when you play up against Anthony, the one rule is do not let him cut in on your left foot. But with Jared Bowen, it's difficult. You show him on the outside, he'll go down the outside. You start to block off that channel, he'll come inside on his left foot. He must be very difficult to play against. And I thought Jared Bowen had a really good game. But that last 10-15 minutes, there was a couple of occasions he ran at Lucas Paqueta, but I just felt he was tiring a little bit. I thought he was lagging, and understandably so, he'd given everything for 75-80 minutes. And that sub by Emery I thought was key, because I felt Lucas Paqueta just pushed Jared Bowen back 10 yards. So when we were trying to launch a counter-attack, it was a bit more difficult, because instead of Bowen starting on the halfway line, he was starting just outside our own 18-yarder. And there was a few occasions where one of our players would win the ball, or Ariola would get it, and Bowen was having to run from the middle of the pitch out to the right and get up. And I thought that sub was good, and I thought Traore just pinned Emerson back a bit. I thought Emerson had a good game overall, by the way. Got tested by Traore, but I thought he stood tall. But the sub just pushed Emerson. It says, right, you stop coming forward, thank you very much. Stop helping outside Benrahma. We're going to give you a winger that's going to put you going backwards rather than forwards. 2 good subs by him. And I'll be honest with you, I was gutted when I saw Lucas Paqueta going off for Pablo Fornals. I could see Fornals ready to come on. And I was thinking, who's he going to bring off? And there was one player I thought, it better be for him. It better be for this player. And that was Thomas Souček. I thought, it's got to be for Souček. And if it was, I thought that would be an attacking sub. To put Fornals into midfield with Paqueta and Rice, I thought this would be good. This would be a small change because you're still sticking with the same formation. Is it a like-for-like sub? No, but we know Fornals will battle in there. And I was hoping it, and then when I saw Paqueta's number go up, I was gutted, to be honest with you. And obviously, since the full-time whistle yesterday, I've seen a lot of people say they thought Paqueta was really poor. I still disagree. Which I'm entitled to, just like you're entitled to disagree with me. But he's definitely split opinions yesterday, Paqueta. But I actually thought he had a good game. Not fantastic, not the best game in the West Ham shirt. I'm not claiming that. I think he played well. More so in the first half. But I thought he was getting stuck in. I thought he was trying to create things. He was trying to make things happen. Some of his balls over the top or the through balls to Jared Bowen I thought were fantastic. When he's in possession, under pressure, he's so composed, so comfortable. And I was enjoying watching him, and I thought he was battling well, and I know he was on a yellow card, but I think you've got to trust him. You have to trust him to not get a second yellow. I thought it was the wrong decision to take him off, and I feel that when he went off, that was it. Villa were on top at this point. I should reiterate that. I do feel a sub was needed. I thought the subs were too late. We were on top. I get it. When we're on top, I get why Moyes is reluctant to change it, because the team were doing well. But I felt we had them on the ropes at one point in the second half. And then no changes happened. But Villa just grew more and more into the game. They did their subs and I thought, Fornals, come on. I just thought, well, that's it. That is the intent signalled right there, which is I'm happy with the point now. And I was gutted by it because I felt that we could have won that game. I felt that, like I said, from what I'd seen from Villa, they were okay at best. They were fine. A couple of good players. But I wasn't panicking or nothing like that. I didn't feel like we were under the cosh. Areola was hardly getting bombarded with shots or anything. I thought we were relatively comfortable. Villa, when they were on top, I thought we were comfortably dealing with what they had to offer. Like I said, Traore was in the game a lot. But Emerson was coping with him out there. I thought we were fine. And we could have just tried to win the game. And then when I saw Duran coming on and Villa almost going like 4-4-2, I thought, oh no, this is just not good. Then in the 86th minute, well, just the 85th minute, just before Cornet came on, Emery made another change. He brought in Callum Chambers for Ollie Watkins. I thought, here you go, Moyes. Listen, I was like begging. I was like, Moyes, look, your opposite number is now making a defensive-minded sub. He's had 10 minutes, just under 10 minutes, I think, where Villa were a bit 4-4-2. They went for it because they were the better team. They went for it when they were on top, and they couldn't get that second goal. And it felt like on the 85th minute, that sub by Emery, Chambers on for Ollie Watkins, it just felt like that was Villa saying, we're happy with the point, actually. Put Chambers in there next to McGinn and Douglas Luiz. We've got Chio out on the left, out on the right, sorry. We'll be okay with a point. And I just thought that presented an opportunity to David Moyes just to go a bit more adventurous. Your respective manager, he's going a bit more he's handing it to you, saying, go on man, come and attack us. And when I saw Cornet ready to come on, I thought, this is going to tell us exactly what we need to. We already knew what the answer was going to be, but when I saw him coming on, 86th minute, I thought, right, there's more than two, but I thought there's two options for you here. One, you replace him for Danny Ings. That's what you can do. Or two, you take off Souček, you move Fornals back, and you put Cornet on, and that would be quite attacking for David Moyes. But I'll tell you what, had he done that sub, that would have sent a message to the fans. We're going to win this game. We are going to go and try and win this game. We've got 5-10 minutes on the clock. We're going to go and try and win it. But he didn't. He put him on for Danny Ings, and that sent a message to the crowd. We're going to get a point. We've got 5-10 minutes, and we're going to try and get a 1-1 out of this. It's not good enough. When that, like I said, the first sub, the Paqueta one, that killed it for me. But the Cornet one, that would have injected enthusiasm back into me. That period where I just sat there thinking, we're here for a draw, we're trying to get a draw. The Cornet, if it was the right sub, that would have just got me up again, going, right, come on then, let's go, let's try and win this. And now, I don't mind Cornet coming on. Let me make this clear. I actually understand the Cornet for Danny Ings sub to some extent, because we were trying the balls over the top. We were trying that through ball, and Ings didn't have the pace. He's not the speediest striker in the world. Cons and Mings weren't that bothered by him. Whenever we hit it over the top, they were dealing with him fine. It didn't bother them whatsoever. So putting Cornet on there, someone with a little bit more agility, with a bit more pace, it makes sense. But who is going to supply him? I just thought it was wild to bring Paqueta off, then put Cornet on. Cornet needed Lucas Paqueta in the team. Who was going to supply him? It wasn't going to be Declan Rice. He's never done those types of passes. It wasn't going to be Thomas Souček. Thomas Souček did 9 completed passes in 90 minutes yesterday. 9 passes in 90 minutes from a centre midfielder. He touched the ball 21 times. He was ineffective completely. Now, I'm actually not going to dig out Thomas Souček because there's 2 scenarios here. Either one, Souček was playing poorly and he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do, but then why was he not subbed off? Or 2, which is the more likely one, which is Thomas Souček was doing exactly what was asked of him from his manager, and that's why he remained on the pitch for the duration of the game, because Moyes was happy with what Souček was providing. He was anonymous in that game. 9 passes in 90... you don't need to be a mathematician. 1 pass every 10 minutes. Come on. Some of those passes, by the way, were with his head. So it's like an aerial duel and he's headed it down and someone's picked it up. It counts as a pass. It's not good enough. It's just not good enough at all. So when I saw Cornet come on for things, I thought, oh, brilliant. Now what? Now what we're going to do? Who's going to be able to pass it to him? I actually got to the point where in the 93rd minute, 3 minutes left of time, I actually sat there thinking, we're relying on a Gerd playing Cornet in behind the Villa defence. What is this? I was actually found for the last 3-4 minutes. I was praying one of our centre backs was going to create the chance that would get us a winner, because I had no hope in it coming from midfield. And the wingers, I thought, played well. I thought Benrahma and Bowen, thought they both played well. Could they have been better with the final ball, the final decision? Yes, they could have done. But Ings was ineffective, completely ineffective. At half time, the problems that were occurring in the first half occurred in the second half, which was Souček not being involved, Danny Ings not being involved, and Theo Keller being a bit suspect in defence. That was the problems in the first 45 minutes. It continued in the second. We didn't rectify any of them. Well, we did. We took Danny Ings off at the 86th minute, but the other 2 remained on the pitch. Now, I don't mind Keller finishing the game. I get it, right? But come on. It's just not good enough. Like I said, I think his tactics, Moyes, I think his tactics were right. That balls over out to the wingers, loved it, thoroughly enjoyed it, want to see more. I thought Bowen and Benrahma were really relishing it. Every time a girl got the ball and flicked it out to his left and looked up, Bowen was on the move. And a girl kept on looking for him. I thoroughly enjoyed that anyway. The other thing, this is what I think we're going to see David Moyes do. Him playing for a point yesterday, it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise whatsoever. And like I said, if Friday night you offered me a point against Villa, I might have taken it. I would have taken it. I would have said, yeah, go on then. I'll go with that, because I thought we'd get beat. So yeah, point. Yeah, yes, please. But after the results on Saturday, would I have taken a point? No, because the results went against us. We're in the bottom 3. We need something from this game. After seeing the way Aston Villa played, absolutely not. That was a poor display from that Aston Villa team. We could have won that game. I don't think we should have. I don't think we deserved to. I think a draw was a fair result at the end of it. But I do feel that we could have potentially won that game had we gone for it. This is what I think Moyes is planning. Moyes is basically grinding it out to finish 17th. I think his intention is to grind out results, pick up enough points here and there, so that come the end of the season, we are at worst 17th in the league. Avoid defeats and hope that teams around you lose a little bit more than you do. And it might work. And do you know something? I think it will. If you ask me for my 3 teams to go down today, I don't know who they are, but it will not include West Ham. I still don't think we're going to go down. Now, I don't say that with confidence. I say it with optimism, and it's a prediction based on what I've been seeing recently. I'm still insisting that Palace are getting sucked into this. No shots on target in the last 3 games. No win in 2023. Arsenal up next. I think Palace are getting sucked into it. Forest, heavily reliant on their home form. Away they are stinking. So I think Forest, Palace are in trouble. Southampton, I know they got a point away to Old Trafford, but Man United were down 10 men. I've seen a couple of their penalty shouts. I think they were unlucky not to get a penalty in that game. That's probably the 3 teams I would guess at the minute. Palace, Forest and Southampton would be my guess. But that will change next week, because it just will. It changes every week because of results and performances. Bournemouth look good at the minute. Got a nice win. Everton picked up a decent win. Leicester look poor at the minute, but I think they've got enough talent in that team to get out of it. But that's a bit like us. We should be able to get out this. The team is good enough, but this grinding it out, I think it might work, but I'll tell you what, it's an incredibly dangerous game because it heavily relies on two things. One, winning the games he intends to win. Southampton at home. Next up, 3 weeks' time, we play Southampton at home. That is a must win, and I think we will see that. If we were playing Southampton at home yesterday, by the way, I actually think we would have seen Scamacca as well as Cornet. I think we would have possibly tried to go get the win. I do believe that. I'm going to give Moyes the benefit of that. I do believe it. But he's got to win those games. Because if you do not win one of them, well, you're minus 3 points on what you're trying to do, aren't you? And the second of all, you're relying on the other teams to continue as crap as they are. Because at the minute, 35 points will keep you up. But you need the teams below you to basically repeat what they've done for the first 26 games of the season, for the final third of the season, for 35 points to be enough. And I just think it's a very, very dangerous game that we're playing at the minute. I should have said the man just played at the minute. I was not happy yesterday. I thought it was 2 points dropped. And I'm still not happy about it. I still think we could have won. I think we could have done. And that substitution in the 77th minute, it just sucked the enthusiasm out of me altogether. Like I said, there was an opportunity to inject it back into me with Cornet coming onto the pitch. But again, it just wasn't ambitious enough. And when I say ambitious enough, it's not even ambition. Beating Aston Villa at home is hardly left field, is it? Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying let's win the conference. That's ambition. Beating Aston Villa at home? Come on. Surely that's something we can do, especially when they played like that, by the way. Villa are a good team. I know they've won 4 of their 5 away from home under Emery until yesterday. I know that. But they were missing their best player and they weren't that good. We were okay yesterday and that was enough to get a point. But had we played good, had we played well, I think we might have won that. Had the substitutions been better, I think we might have won that. But we haven't. And that, to me, is down to the manager. But like I said, he got a lot right yesterday. But I also think he got a lot wrong as well. Frustrating is how I would sum it up. But anyway, I'm going to shut up. That's my thoughts on yesterday's game. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, please do drop a like on it by clicking the thumbs up. Subscribe to Hammer's Chat. And I'll catch you tomorrow.